YouTube, what's good, man? It's your boy Darren, the BowTie Fragrance Guy on the channel, where we talk about fragrances and we talk about passion and grooming. So if you're into looking good and smelling great, make sure you hit subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications by hitting the bell icon as well, so anytime a new video is uploaded, you get notified. On today's video, guys, I'm going to be jumping in and talking about primarily two of the newest releases from the brand Narcotica, a fragrance called Limonada, which is their most recent release, as well as a fragrance that was released a few months prior to that, which is called Love Me Latte. Now, I had the other fragrances from this house, and I really wanted these two in my collection. So I actually personally reached out to contact from the brand, and I actually got them to send me the newest Limonada and Love Me Latte, because Love Me Latte has been on my radar for a long time. And then when I saw that Limonada was released, I wanted to get my hands on it and talk to you guys about the fragrances. Narcotica, this particular brand overall, is a fragrance brand that I personally love. I personally love this brand. It has nothing to do with the fact that they sent me these two fragrances, which I reached out to them to ask for, but just because I love the brand. I love what the type of fragrances that they do. A lot of them have a very sweet gourmand element to them, and you guys have been following me for a while. No, I love those kind of scent profiles. So I'm going to primarily focus on the two newest releases, but I'm going to kind of give an overview of the others if you haven't heard about them yet or experienced them. So if you want to see my thoughts on the newest fragrances from Narcotica, Love Me Latte and Limonada, which you guys don't want to miss this, then you know the routine. Keep it locked right here. Let's get it.
The BowTie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked. Let's jump right into it. Little housekeeping, man. If you haven't got my ebook yet, The Gentleman's Blueprint, what are we waiting for? What is you waiting for? Make sure you go ahead and grab that, man. Add it to your reading collection, man. It's something that I think will help all gentlemen grow. And that's what we want to do. Iron sharpens iron. So it's my opportunity to really pour into you guys from that standpoint. Support me, support the channel. Pick up your copy of The Gentleman's Blueprint if you haven't. What you waiting for, man? Go ahead and do it. It's always linked down in the description. So let's jump into this, man. The newest fragrances from the brand Narcotica. First of all, I love their bottles. I love the brand. They are reasonably priced, in my opinion, at about $300 for 100 ml. And again, we're going to talk about the newest release, Limonada, which I think is perfect timing for the summertime, because that's when I personally would probably wear this fragrance the most. Spring and summer, but primarily summer. This stuff is fantastic. Here's the presentation on it. And all their bottles pretty much look the same, except obviously, should have picked that up a lot easier. There we go. Limonada. Some of the main notes in this, you're going to get grapefruit. You're going to get some mango, pink pepper, fig, ginger, elemi resins, amber, cedar wood, oak moss. Some of the main notes in this composition. Guys, this fragrance is phenomenal. But I will tell you, this fragrance does remind me a lot of another extremely popular fragrance that hit the market probably about 2 or 3 years ago, but it became really popular over the last year and a half. And I'm talking about L'Oreal Paris's Porthole. This smells a lot like Porthole, although there are some differences between the two fragrances. First, I think this is something new. As a matter of fact, let me look at this other bottle. Yeah, this is something they're doing new with the Narcotica bottles. I just saw it down there on the bottom where it says Narcotica down there. I don't know if you can see that inscription. So that's another nice little touch. I'm big on presentation that they threw into this one. All right. They threw that one into this one as well. But this is a beautiful fragrance. It starts off smelling like a glass of lemonade. Glass of lemonade. Now, I know you say there is no lemon listed as notes. So there isn't lemon, but it's the combination of citrus notes in here, primarily the grapefruit. And there's a note, if you notice, of red currant in the opening, with the red currant and grapefruit combination. The red currant gives this kind of sour nuance there. And of course, you guys know that lemons are a little bit sour. So you have the grapefruit here with the mango and the red currant, which gives this sourness to those fruity, more fruity citrus notes up top, and which kind of gives off the vibe of a freshly squeezed lemon. So you have that in the opening. Of course, the fig in here that gives a little bit creaminess, and then you start to get into these really, really spicy elements of this fragrance. The ginger helps to give that fizziness as well, which, as a matter of fact, my wife and I went to a restaurant yesterday, and they had some of the best lemonade that we've ever tasted. But it was really like this fizziness to the lemonade that made it really great. And that's kind of sort of what the ginger note does in this fragrance. It gives that nice citrusy accord that you get in the opening from the red currant and the mango in the opening of the fragrance, and the grapefruit. It helps to give it that kind of fizziness that you get from ginger a lot of times. And that's exactly what it does in this fragrance. And like I said, then it starts to transition to this really kind of sweet but spicy fragrance. There's a lot of spice in this fragrance. The ginger gives off a little bit of the spice, but you also have like a elemi resin in here to give this piney kind of spiciness to the fragrance, which again makes it really spicy. So it's really good. And then to dry down, you start to get more of your aquatic touches in here. There's some more marine kind of aquatic touches in here, probably some ambergris in this fragrance as well. So it is really great for the spring and summertime. Now, again, it is going to, if you have smelled L'Oreal Paris's Porthole, it is going to remind you of Porthole. But Porthole to me focuses a little bit more on the fruitier, sweeter side of it, where this goes into a little bit more of a spicy direction. But I absolutely love it. It's an extrait de parfum, and I got 7.5 to 8 hours of performance out of this fragrance. So it is great on the performance side of things. So if you're looking for something great for the spring and summer that's going to give you great performance, check this one out. This is called Limonada. Now, the next fragrance, I'm actually head over heels for this one, man. I love my gourmands, and this to me is a little bit more of a toned down version of Dulce Diablo, which I've talked about that fragrance a lot. I've worn it a lot. It's got me a lot of compliments. But this one is sweet as well, but it's a little bit more toned down, a little more lactonic and creamy. This is so good. This one is called Love Me Latte. Love Me Latte. And really primarily what you're gonna get with Love Me Latte, white cherries, you get pear, fig, caramel, brown sugar, coffee beans, vanilla, amber, tonka bean, cedar wood, and gaiac wood. I know that's a lot, but this is exactly, I want to sum this fragrance up because I don't want this video to run on too long. But when I first sprayed this fragrance and I smelled it, it took me back to a place in my childhood. Now, I'm from down south, and one of my favorite snacks to have in my life, I would get when I would go over to my grandmother's house during the summertime. So she would have fresh peaches, and she would make these fresh peaches. So she would put them in a pot and kind of add some brown sugar, some regular sugar, and kind of cook the peaches down. And the peaches would boil down and kind of create this juice. So they would be really sweet, like sugary peaches. And then she would make biscuits from scratch. And my cousin and I always used to love when she would make that because when you put them together, it kind of tasted in a way like a nice peach cobbler. But it was better than peach cobbler because you had the juice that was kind of created from boiling down the peaches and the brown sugar and all the other stuff that she put into it. And they were really soft, and then we would take the biscuits and dip them into the peach juice. Gosh, it was so good. And that's what this reminded me of when I smelled it. It smelled like this, like caramelized peaches, and then it's had this kind of lactonic, almost gourmand bread type of experience in here, which is something that I kind of picked up in Dries Van Noten from Frederick Mall. It had this same kind of bready, doughy kind of experience in there. And I picked that up in this fragrance. So I had never heard of white cherries before. I didn't know there was even a such thing as white cherries. And when I looked it up, it said white cherries kind of give off the impression of smelling like peaches. Here we go. And that's exactly why I got that. That's what I smelled and got that imagery that popped into my head when I smelled Love Me Latte. So you get that nice kind of caramelized, like I said, kind of peach smell there in the opening. It's a little bit lactonic and creamy, almost bready, foody in the heart, but you also get these kind of latte and caramel like vibes. Again, latte. I always make this reference when I've said it a few times here lately. Kind of reminds me of that latte vibe that I got from Coffee Break from Mason Margiela. This is a phenomenal gourmand. It is not as sweet as Dulce Diablo. So if you tried Dulce Diablo, it was a little bit too sweet for you, give Love Me Latte a try. I'm sure you'll like this one, guys, but I absolutely love it. All my gourmand lovers need to try Love Me Latte. The dry down gives a little bit of Lost Cherry vibes too, in a way. I want to mention that as well, but this is just phenomenal. Check it out from Narcotica. These are the two newest additions to the line, Love Me Latte. Now, guys, they sent me this. I don't have an affiliate link or anything, but I did talk to them and they said they would give my subscribers a discount. If you want to purchase anything, if you use the code SAVE10, it'll just give you like a little 10% off. Like I said, and it's not paid. It didn't, give me an affiliate link. It's just if you want to try something, they did say they would give my subscribers a discount by using the code SAVE10. So I wanted to mention that as well. Really quickly, what else they have in the range, because I love all of them. Doza Amber Intense. This is a beautiful amber fragrance. I've talked about it before. Probably still my favorite, which is incense, amber, tobacco, vanilla bean, and Gaiac wood. So in short, this is a smoky amber fragrance. One of my favorite ambers in my entire collection. The vanilla bean gives it a little bit of a sweetness, but vanilla bean is not overly sweet or confectionery like a lot of vanilla that people use. It's a little bit more of a vanilla that's almost more going towards that cacao kind of thing. But phenomenal fragrance. Absolutely love this one. Doza Amber Intense, my favorite of the whole range. They also have this one, Narco Oasis. Oh my gosh, another great one for the spring and summertime. Narco Oasis, man. Just passion fruit, vanilla, peach, pear, tonka bean, sandalwood, and amber. And really what this is a very tropical, fruity fragrance up top with a beautiful, creamy, sweet dry down. Best way to describe this one, Extrait de Parfum as well, as they all are. So it performs like a beast. So it is sweet on one end, and then the juxtaposition of this is that it's very tropical and fruity in the opening. Amazing fragrance, Narco Oasis. And of course, the aforementioned, the sweetest fragrance, most gourmand fragrance I've ever smelled, Dulce Diablo. Dulce Diablo. So if you have a sweet tooth, this will definitely itch that scratch. Rum, cognac, apricots, chocolate, cacao, honey, vanilla, sugar cane, tonka bean. Anything you think of that's sweet is in this fragrance. A little bit of dried apricots in here as well. Super sweet. Now it does tone down after the first maybe 2 hours or so. But if you love sweet fragrances, you're gonna love this. You guys can see I got a nice little dent in this bottle. Nice little dent. I rocked this several times out and about. I love it. It has gotten a lot of compliments. This stuff is amazing, man. Dulce Diablo, the sweetest one and most gourmand of all. All right, guys, another one that people kind of sleep on. It's a tea fragrance, but it still has a lot of those elements that a lot of the other ones from this brand has. It's tea, but then it's like a sweet, creamy dry down. This one is called Happy Dust. Happy Dust. What you get with Happy Dust is bourbon vanilla up top with mango, matcha tea, amber, vanilla, tonka bean, and white musk. That's some of the main notes. And like I said, that tea gives this kind of herbal nuance to the fragrance, but the dry down is really sweet, kind of creamy and gourmand like Narco Oasis as well. But the difference here again is that tea note. The tea note is a different maker here, but there's another one they have to offer from the brand, which is called Happy Dust. And last but not least, the namesake. This one is just called Narcotica. Narcotica. This one is cypress, black pepper, cannabis, oud, sandalwood, and amber. Now, this one is the initial release, and this one Also has another fragrance out there that reminds me of a lot, which is from Black Afghano. Black Afghano. Smells a lot like Black Afghano. Girl, I haven't ranked these. I may come back and rank them, but this will probably be at the bottom just because it reminds me so much of Black Afghano when I smell that one first. But it's still a phenomenal fragrance. If you don't have Black Afghano, this would be a great one to pick up as well. The namesake Narcotica, really sexy, kind of centered around a note of cannabis. That's really the primary note in here, is that cannabis note, but it's really, really good. And if you smell Black Afghano, this smells probably 90-95% similar to that. But it's a really, really nice fragrance from the brand. This one's called Narcotica. But that is it, guys. That is my time. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Again, I will link these down below. If you want to check them out, make sure you do so. Use the code SAVE10 and check them out. But as always, I sincerely appreciate you guys' time and your attention to these videos. You don't have to watch, but you do. And I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget to take a few moments to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you're sharing these out to some other folks that you think could use the information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darren, on the BowTie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell fantastic. So until next time, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.